Welcome to Rob on Holiday. Today we're in Llanberis, but specifically we're here to go on the Snowdon Mountain Railway. Mount Snowdon is the highest mountain in England and Wales, standing at 1,085 metres or 3,560 feet above sea level. The mountain is one of Wales' most popular tourist attractions, with over 500,000 visitors each year. Snowdon is a popular hiking route, but for those of us who are not up to climbing a mountain, you can still see the summit by taking the Snowdon Mountain Railway. So, in today's video, we'll be sharing our experience riding the Snowdon Mountain Railway. Now, for Welsh viewers, I'm going to apologise. I'm going to try and say the names in Welsh. In recent years, there's been a move to call Snowdonia and Snowdon by their Welsh names. So Snowdonia, the national park, is called Yr Wyddfa, and Snowdon itself is called Yr Wyddfa. So I hope you'll forgive me from now on, the Welsh viewers. I say I'm going to name these places in the English names as I go about and we're doing the video, because I can't fit those names in my head, but I thought it was important to represent them on the video. Anyway, with that, let's get on with the video properly. Now, as I say, we're going on the Snowdon Mountain Railway today. It's the middle of summer and we've pre-booked. You really need to pre-book your tickets here, because otherwise you'll be lucky to get on the trains, because as you can see, this is late in the afternoon actually. The 4:30 train is the next one off. There's loads of people about waiting to get on it. We've got the 5 o'clock train. I think we paid £42 each, which is quite steep, but it's an hour up in the train, half an hour on the summit and an hour back down. So I think it's pretty good value, and I think it's like 2.5 hours that you're going to get some spectacular sights. So, before we head up the mountain, let's go over the pre-trip process in depth. The first thing you need to know is that the Snowdon Mountain Railway is not open all year. The railway line only runs from the end of March to the end of October. For example, in 2025, the railway will be open from the 29th of March to the 1st of November. And for some of these months, the train will not run all the way to the summit, instead stopping at Llanberis Station, which is about 3/4 of the way up Snowdon. So if you want the full experience of going to the summit, you'll want to plan your visit to Snowdon in summer, usually from June to August. The other important thing to know is that you need to book your tickets a long time in advance, as they often sell out. Tickets are available via the Snowdon Railway website, and return tickets cost £45 for adults and £35 for children. We would normally choose one of the first trains in the morning, but since we only booked our trip just over a month in advance, the only train left was 5 p.m. So make sure to book several months in advance for a better choice of tickets. Now let's talk about arriving at the station. The Snowdon Mountain Railway departs from the Llanberis Station. Pay and display parking is available just behind the station, but if this car park is full, there are several other pay and display options around the town of Llanberis. So it looks like 4 hours for £5. You can pay with a card in the shop, but luckily I carry a few coins in the car. So just make sure to get to the station early so that you have time to sort out your parking arrangements. Once you've parked up, head into the station's ticket office to collect your tickets. If you've arrived early, you can grab some food and drink from one of the stalls at the station while you're waiting for your train. So waiting in line, once the previous train goes, so for example the 4:30 train's gone, people are queuing up for our train, which is the 5 o'clock train. Something I didn't mention before, the temperature down here in Llanberis today is about 16-17 degrees. Perfectly pleasant summer day. If you do the research on the weather forecast, the temperature at the top of the Snowdon at the moment is 9 degrees, but with the wind chill and everything else it feels like 4 degrees. So bring your jackets, don't come in shorts. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like. The visibility should be good according to the weather forecast. Obviously it can be cloudy, completely obscured, misty, whatever, but I'm hoping today we're going to get a good view from the top. Well, that's a bonus. We turn up, we booked online, obviously, as you have to do. We've turned up, we've got our tickets, we're in compartment A. And apparently when you start queuing up, if you're in compartment A, you're allowed to come and stand on the station. So, on the platform rather, so I'm quite impressed with that. As we boarded the train, we discovered that compartment A meant being right in the front of the train, in the same compartment as one of the drivers. This was great, as we got fantastic views out of the front of the train as we made our way up the mountain. Since we were a group of 4, we were the only people in compartment A, but be aware that the other compartments hold up to 8 people, so you'll probably be sharing with at least one other group. The journey up to the summit takes around an hour, but of course the journey itself is all part of the experience. Soon after you leave the station at Llanberis, you'll pass over 2 viaducts where you'll get a view of the Llanberis Moor and Holt waterfalls. What makes the ride up Snowdon particularly nice is that it's a gradual ascent. meaning that you get views of the rolling hills of Snowdonia as you make your way up to the summit. You'll also pass by several other stations whose main purpose is to provide an area for several trains to pass at once. The first of these is Hebron Station, followed by the halfway station. As we made our way up, it was interesting to learn that the driver of the train sits at the back, while the driver in our compartment is in charge of inspecting the track to ensure no sheep are blocking the way. Just after the halfway station, you'll enter Rocky Valley, a highlight of the journey up Snowdon. In the valley, the train tracks are flanked on both sides by large rock formations. The final checkpoint on your journey is Clogwyn Station, which is 3/4 of the way up the mountain. Even though the weather forecast had looked positive, unfortunately, soon after Clogwyn Station, we entered clouds which significantly obscured the view up to the summit. However, it was still an exciting experience to approach the summit itself. Of course, the train does not stop right at the summit. The final station on the route is Hafod Iri, the Summit Visitor Centre. Once you disembark the train, we recommend you head straight to the summit, which is just a short 3-minute walk from the visitor centre. It's an uphill climb to the summit through the centre, so be prepared for a bit of cardio to get to the very top. So here we are, finally at the summit of Yr Wyddfa, or Snowdon. In just a few seconds, I'm still on terra firma and I'm higher than anyone else in England or Wales, but we can't see much. So we come down just from the summit now. It may look cold, it feels cold, but it's a lot less cold down here than at the very summit. If you are coming up to Snowdon, you come on the train, it's best to get straight off the train, go to the summit, because there may be a queue at the steps. We were first off the train, straight up, and there weren't many people up there, so we were lucky we got up there. But even in the middle of the sun, a day like today, you don't want to spend longer than about 30 seconds a minute up there. It's so cold, the wind's blowing, and just a few metres down from the top of it, it's a lot better. Once we'd briefly visited the summit, we headed back inside because it was so cold. Bear in mind that this was the middle of summer, so please come prepared with appropriate clothing. There's a cafe at the top here where you can grab a hot drink. I mean, mainly it's great to get in from the cold weather outside. It's a real shame actually, because I thought the visibility was going to be good today. It has been good pretty much all the way up the mountain, but then the last bit the mist closed in. You can imagine on a good day that the view from the visitor centre here is absolutely spectacular. You can see it on some of the photos here. But overall, a great trip. I mean, the views on the way up are spectacular, and it's great to say I've stood on Snowdon. Even though I cheated, I didn't climb it, I came on the train, but it's one of those things where the journey makes it worth it, because it really is a great ride. £42, it's a lot of money for the return, but I think it is a good trip. You get 30 minutes at the summit, which I think is a good amount of time. We spent the first 5 minutes reaching the summit, 5 minutes filming around the centre, 15 minutes ordering and enjoying our drink, and then we spent the last 5 minutes waiting in the train. It's very important to get back to the train on time, and preferably with a few minutes to spare. The train will not wait for you, and your ticket is only valid for the train you booked. So if you miss your train, you'll be faced with a multi-hour walk down the mountain. The drive back down the mountain is slightly faster, but still takes almost an hour. Unfortunately, the windows were a little steamed up from the fog at the top, so the view was not as good on the way down. So that was our trip up Snowdon. Beautiful views on the way up. Windows are a bit steamy on the way down. And as you saw at the top, you never can tell what the weather's going to be like. I was speaking to the driver. She said, oh yeah, it was absolutely clear this morning, but then like that, the fog comes in and we didn't see anything at the top. It felt more like being on Everest than the top of Snowdon. But overall, I'd highly recommend it. It's really good. Just for the views on the way up and the experience of saying you're up there at that moment, you're stood on the top, you're higher than anybody else in England and Wales, and you can say you've been up Snowdon. So thanks for watching Rob on Holiday. We hope you enjoyed our video showing the train up to Mount Snowdon. If you've got any questions, please put them in the box below and we'll be happy to answer them. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps our channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.